Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12. What does counting Coup mean? Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12 is entitled Counting Coup, demonstrating how important this concept is to the story. Throughout Counting Coup, Case, Luke Grimes, focuses on finding out more details about who had killed John and getting vengeance. While Beth, Kelly Rayleigh, is sidetracked by Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12's unnecessary death from her mission of confronting Jamie, Wes Bentley, about his role, Case talks with a contact and learns the name of the man who was behind the assassination. After learning this, Case again needs to leave his family in the dark to carry out his plans, promising Monica only that he would be careful and would return home safely. Casey's actions continue the investigation arc that had begun with Yellowstone's medical examiner in Season 5, Episode 11, though at this point he knows what happened to John and is beginning to confront the people responsible in order to get vengeance. Once Case learns that Grant Horton is responsible for John's death, he tracks him down and slips into his car, while Horton is taking his young daughter home from soccer practice. Casey's decision to hold the little girl at gunpoint and scream at her that she better be scared seems out of character for him. However, it is the best way for him to put Grant on notice that he knows what he did and is prepared to take revenge. Although Case threatens Horton, he does not kill him, though he makes it clear he could take him and his whole family out if he wanted to. Instead, toward the end of the confrontation, Case hits Horton and tells him, "Where I come from, we call that counting Coup. That means I took a piece of your soul, and I'm gonna keep it." This idea is clearly important to both Case and Mo. Mo brings plenty, as the latter makes a point of asking the Dutton if he counted Coup when he picks him up after his encounter with Grant. Counting Coup is an indigenous custom via Buffalo Bill Center of the West. Many tribes use it to humiliate their enemies rather than killing them outright. Instead of fighting to the death, they touch their adversary with the coup stick, often hitting them over and over with it. Warriors who successfully count coup are considered especially brave. Thus, the fact that Mo wants Case to engage in this custom demonstrates his belief that John's killer is so unworthy that he doesn't even want to bother with killing him. Instead, he would rather Case count Coup than waste energy on eliminating Grant. Mo's interest in this revenge scheme in Yellowstone is a testimony to his respect for John, whom he worked with often despite the friction between the indigenous population and the ranchers. Now that Yellowstone's John Dutton is dead, Mo wants to fight for vengeance, showing that John was important to him. Additionally, Case has struggled with his identity as a white man married to an indigenous woman throughout the series. Thus, Mo's willingness to work with him demonstrates that he fully accepts Case as an honorary member of his tribe. The mid-season finale of Yellowstone Season 5 left fans on edge, but Episode 12, titled Counting Coup, brings the tension to new heights. With the Dutton family fighting battles on multiple fronts, this episode weaves historical symbolism into modern-day struggles, drawing on the Native American tradition of counting Coup to shape its themes. But what exactly does counting Coup mean, and how does it relate to the ongoing conflicts in Yellowstone? Let's dive into the significance of this term and how it plays into the narrative of the Dutton family's fight for survival. The meaning of counting Coup. The phrase counting Coup originates from the traditions of Plains Native American tribes, particularly the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Crow. In battle, warriors would earn prestige, not necessarily by killing their enemies, but by demonstrating courage and skill. Counting Coup involved acts such as touching an enemy without harming them, stealing a weapon, or escaping capture. These actions symbolized dominance and bravery, proving one's strength without the need for excessive violence. In Native American culture, counting Coup was a demonstration of intelligence and strategic prowess over sheer brutality. It was about proving superiority in battle in a way that preserved life and honored the warrior spirit. How it ties into Yellowstone. Episode 12 applies this concept both literally and metaphorically. Throughout the series, John Dutton and his family have always engaged in power struggles that often lead to violence. However, in this episode, the battle is not won with bloodshed alone. It's about outmaneuvering the enemy, proving dominance without necessarily pulling the trigger. Case Dutton's internal war. Case, Luke Grimes, has been torn between his responsibilities as a father, a husband, and a leader. As a man who deeply respects Native American traditions due to his connection with Monica and their son, this episode sees him confronted with a choice that embodies the concept of counting Coup. He is forced to prove his strength and leadership not through violence, but through calculated moves that demonstrate his wisdom. When he faces a rival from the Broken Rock Reservation, instead of fighting with fists or weapons, he takes a different approach, one that earns him respect without unnecessary bloodshed. Beth versus Jamie, a battle of wits. One of the most gripping aspects of Yellowstone is the long-standing rivalry between Beth, Kelly Riley, and Jamie, Wes Bentley. In Counting Coup, Beth recognizes that brute force won't be enough to take Jamie down. Instead, she plays the psychological game, delivering a strike that leaves Jamie reeling without laying a hand on him. In a literal sense, she counts Coup by exposing one of his weaknesses, proving her superiority without resorting to physical confrontation. John Dutton's political chess game. John, Kevin Costner, has always been a strategist, and in this episode, he shows his mastery in the art of counting Coup. Rather than using brute force to fend off market equities and political adversaries, he makes a move that shifts the battlefield entirely. By aligning with a powerful yet unexpected ally, he turns the tide in his favor, proving that wisdom and strategy often trump violence. The deeper symbolism. The choice of the episode's title isn't just about the individual conflicts within Yellowstone. It also speaks to the broader themes of land, legacy, and the clash between traditional values and modern greed. The Duttons, much like the Native American warriors of the past, must decide whether to fight in the old ways or find new ways to survive. Counting Coup is about more than just battle. It's about understanding power and how to wield it wisely. In episode 12, every character is faced with the question: do you destroy your enemies, or do you outthink them? What's next for Yellowstone? With episode 12 setting the stage for even bigger confrontations, the stakes have never been higher. Will Case find peace in his divided world? Can Beth finally outmaneuver Jamie for good? And will John Dutton's political maneuvering be enough to secure the future of the Yellowstone Ranch? One thing is certain: the battle isn't just about who is the strongest, it's about who is the smartest. And in a world where legacy is everything, the true warriors are those who know when to strike and when to hold back. As Yellowstone continues, the idea of counting Coup will undoubtedly remain central. After all, power isn't always measured in blood. It's measured in respect, strategy, and the ability to endure. And for the Duttons, survival has always been about more than just fighting. It's about proving that they belong.